The reported decision by Bangladesh to withdraw from the ICC T20 World Cup scheduled in India has shaken South Asian cricket, and not just because of the sporting implications. At the center of the debate is a serious question. Did the Bangladesh Cricket Board, BCB, sacrifice the game for national pride and domestic political pressure, or was this a legitimate stand taken over player safety, visa barriers, and politicization of sport following the Mustafizur Rahman IPL controversy?
That question matters because cricket in this region has never been just a game. But before labeling the BCB's stance as anti-India electoral rhetoric, we need to examine the environment in which the decision was taken. The BCB officially cited safety concerns, and those concerns did not arise in a vacuum. They were shaped by diplomatic strain, visa restrictions, and repeated signals that sport in India is no longer insulated from hard geopolitics.
Let's start with safety, because that is the core justification given by the BCB. When a national board says it cannot guarantee the physical and psychological safety of its players and officials, that is not a minor administrative excuse. Over the past year, Bangladesh has seen regular visas to India effectively frozen, including for patients, students, and professionals. If even civilians face uncertainty and humiliation in the visa process, it is not unreasonable for a cricket board to question whether a full touring contingent will be treated with professionalism and neutrality.
Exactly, and safety is not only about stadium security. It includes freedom of movement, protection from harassment, media hostility, and the assurance that players will not be dragged into political storms. After the Mustafizur Rahman IPL episode, where political narratives quickly overtook a purely contractual sporting matter, Bangladeshi players became hyper-visible symbols in Indian political discourse. That visibility can translate into pressure, abuse, or worse, especially in a polarized environment.
Critics argue that BCB exaggerated these fears to please domestic audiences and ride a wave of nationalist sentiment, but this criticism ignores a crucial point. The responsibility of a cricket board is first to its players, not to the spectacle. If there are possibilities of mob violation, as some within Bangladesh fear, even if not guaranteed, the risk calculation changes. No board wants to be remembered as the one that ignored warning signs until something irreversible happened.
And the mob factor cannot be dismissed lightly in today's India. Sports events increasingly overlap with mass political mobilization. Social media outrage turns into street-level aggression far faster than it used to. When ideological groups feel empowered, the line between protest and intimidation becomes dangerously thin. The BCB is not accusing the Indian state of planning violence, but it is questioning whether the state can or will fully prevent politically motivated disruptions.
This brings us to the allegation that RSS-linked groups and other ideological networks have been warming or pressuring the BCCI. Whether one accepts this claim fully or partially, the perception itself is damaging. The BCCI is supposed to be an autonomous sporting body, yet it operates in a political ecosystem dominated by the ruling establishment. When nationalist organizations openly frame international matches as tests of patriotism, visiting teams inevitably feel exposed.
That perception becomes sharper when we look at institutional overlap. India's current Home Minister is Amit Shah, one of the most powerful political figures in the country, and his son, Jai Shah, is the sitting president of the ICC while also being a key figure in Indian cricket administration. Even if all decisions are made fairly, the optics are problematic. It creates a sense that global cricket governance is entangled with Indian domestic politics, and that smaller boards like the BCB may not receive impartial treatment when disputes arise.
Supporters of the Indian position say this is an unfair personal attack and that Jai Shah's ICC role followed formal processes. That may be true procedurally, but international sport doesn't run on procedure alone. It runs on trust. When Bangladesh sees visa barriers, politicized media narratives, and concentrated power in the hands of one national bloc, trust erodes. Withdrawal then becomes not an act of hostility, but a defensive response.
Another point often overlooked is the ICC's responsibility. If the ICC allows a tournament host to become a party to geopolitical disputes, then the neutrality of the competition collapses. Bangladesh's reported withdrawal is also a message to the ICC. Hosting rights come with obligations beyond infrastructure and revenue. They include diplomatic facilitation, non-discriminatory visas, and a political environment that does not weaponize sport.
Still, the counter-argument remains strong. Critics within Bangladesh ask whether the BCB has inadvertently harmed Bangladeshi cricket by isolating it from the biggest stage. Young players lose exposure, sponsors lose value, and fans lose pride. They worry that framing this decision as national resistance may bring short-term applause, but long-term sporting damage.
That concern is valid, but it assumes that participation at any cost is always beneficial. History shows otherwise. When boards ignore structural discrimination or political interference, they normalize it. Bangladesh's stance, whether one agrees or not, sets a precedent that safety and dignity matter as much as trophies. It also forces a conversation that many boards privately have but rarely voice.
Let's also talk about India's government, because criticism here is inevitable. India increasingly positions sport as an extension of its soft power, and at times its hard nationalism. Hosting mega events is not just about cricket, it's about projecting dominance. When political leaders blur the line between national victory and party ideology, visiting teams become props in a larger narrative they didn't consent to join.
And that is where the accusation of geopolitics in sports becomes credible. Sport should build people-to-people connections, especially in South Asia, where historical wounds are deep. Instead, we see selective visa regimes, hostile media framing, and the quiet acceptance of ideological pressure on sporting bodies. Bangladesh's decision exposes this uncomfortable reality.
So, was the BCB motivated by anti-India electoral rhetoric? Possibly some political voices tried to capitalize on the moment, as they often do, but reducing the entire decision to election politics is intellectually lazy. Multiple red flags existed, and ignoring them would have been reckless. The withdrawal reflects fear, frustration, and a demand for respect, not simply populist grandstanding.
In the end, the real loser is cricket itself. Fans on both sides are deprived of competition, camaraderie, and the simple joy of the game. Yet, responsibility for that loss does not lie solely with the BCB. It lies with any system that allows political power, ideological influence, and administrative dominance to overshadow fairness and safety.
If India truly wants to be the global leader of cricket, it must demonstrate that leadership through restraint, inclusivity, and institutional distance from politics. And if the ICC wants credibility, it must address conflicts of interest and ensure that no host nation, however powerful, can intimidate or marginalize others.
Bangladesh's decision, controversial as it is, should be seen as a warning bell. Cricket cannot survive as a global sport if trust collapses. Safety cannot be negotiable, visas cannot be weaponized, and governance cannot appear captured by any single national interest. Until those issues are addressed honestly, withdrawals like this will keep happening, and the spirit of the game will keep shrinking.
Ultimately, this is not Bangladesh versus India, it's sport versus politicization, and unless that line is firmly redrawn, everyone involved will keep losing: players, boards, and most of all, the fans who just want cricket to be cricket. As we reach the conclusion of this discussion on Bangladesh's reported withdrawal from the ICC T20 World Cup in India, one reality stands out clearly. When cricket becomes hostage to politics, everyone loses. The game loses its neutrality, players lose their freedom, and fans lose the very spirit that once made cricket a bridge between divided societies. The controversy is not only about Bangladesh or India. It is about the dangerous trend of politicizing sport for short-term ideological or electoral gains.
History teaches us a powerful lesson here. Cricket kept India and Pakistan talking even when diplomacy collapsed. Tours continued during tense periods, matches created moments of mutual respect, and the game worked as a rare channel of people-to-people contact. That legacy should not be forgotten. When cricket could survive wars, sanctions, and broken dialogues, it is tragic to see it now threatened by manufactured polarization, social media hysteria, and ideological extremism.
This is why the first and most important advice is simple. Do not politicize cricket or any other sport. Sports are not election tools, propaganda stages, or tests of ideological loyalty. Once governments and political groups start using matches to signal power or dominance, safety concerns automatically rise and trust disappears. Cricket administrators must have the courage to say no to political pressure, even when that pressure comes from powerful state actors.
Cricket must also remain beyond geopolitics, beyond racism, and beyond Hindu-Muslim or any other form of religious fundamentalism. A player's jersey should never be read as a political statement, and a team's presence should never be treated as an ideological challenge. When religion and nationalism are injected into sport, stadiums stop being places of joy and slowly turn into arenas of confrontation. That path leads only to fear and division.
The responsibility does not lie with one country alone. Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, and all cricket-playing nations must collectively defend the independence of the game. The ICC must act as a truly neutral guardian, ensuring fair visas, equal security, and institutional transparency. If smaller boards feel unsafe or unheard, global cricket governance has already failed in its duty.
At the same time, boards like the BCB must balance national dignity with long-term sporting interests. Standing up for safety and respect is essential, but dialogue should never fully stop. Cricket should be used to reopen doors, not permanently shut them. Calm negotiation, international mediation, and clear standards can prevent future crises like this one.
In conclusion, cricket has the power to heal, to connect, and to remind us that competition does not require hatred. If we allow geopolitics, racism, and religious extremism to dominate the field, we will destroy one of the last shared cultural spaces in South Asia. Protecting cricket means protecting mutual respect, fairness, and humanity itself.
We humbly request our viewers and readers to share their thoughts in the comments and support our work by subscribing to the channel. Your engagement motivates us to continue discussing critical issues like this with honesty and responsibility. Let us raise our voices for a future where cricket stays above politics and remains a game for the people.